Hey, amazing parents, it's Dr. Lindsay here with the 100th episode of the Parenting with Psychology podcast. Today we're going to cover 100 ways to stop tantrums. Just kidding, we'd be here all day. Let's do my top 10 ways to decrease tantrums. Number 1, provide choices. Okay, most important thing you can do here is to help your child develop a sense of autonomy, sense of independence by providing choices throughout the day. By letting your child have a lot more power over the small decisions like what to wear and what game to play, you're going to find that they're far more open to being parented when it really counts. Number 2, limit the choices to 2 good parent-approved options when the outcome really matters. So let's say that you want your child to eat vegetables at dinner. You're going to provide them with 2 options. Do you want carrots or tomatoes today? And let's say that it's time for a nap. You're going to give them 2 options. Would you like to walk back to nap, or would you like me to fly you back there? 2 good choices. Third, provide positive reframes. So there are going to be times when you have to tell your child no, but instead of just saying, no, we can't do that, you want to provide a positive reframe by saying something like, well, we can't go to the zoo today, we don't have time for that, but we can run down to the playground, or we could go visit grandma. And so they still have a choice, and they still have a nice outcome to look forward to, even if there's the disappointment about whatever the thing is that they can't do that time. Number 4, only ask your child's input if it will affect the outcome. So if it's time for your child to take a bath and you want them to take a bath, don't say, hey, are you ready for bath time? Say, let's head back to bath. So only ask for their input if it will affect the outcome. Now, real quick, if you're getting value out of this episode and you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can join me for the next 100 episodes of the Parenting with Psychology podcast. Number 5, prevent the 5 nemesis of good behavior from taking over. So these are hunger, thirst, heat, fatigue, and being cooped up inside. So to prevent the 5 nemesis, you want to feed your child regularly, keep them hydrated, avoid overexerting on a hot day, keep them well rested with an early, consistent bedtime, and get them outside to play as much as possible. Okay, number 6, consistently enforce family protocols. So when you go to the playground, if it's important to you that your child wears sunscreen and a hat, you want to make sure that you always enforce that protocol. So don't give in to whining, because it will only make it harder in the future. Consistently enforce sunscreen and hats. Number 7, remember to pick your battles. So very much related to number 6, you don't want to enforce everything out there. You just want to pick your most important family protocols. So I'm not going to insist that my child wear their shoes at the playground. I insist on hats and sunscreens, but I don't care about shoes. So whatever you choose to enforce is your decision. What you can roughly use as your guide is when you look at the course of the day, you want to have at least 80% of your interactions with your child being positive or neutral in nature. So if you're picking so many battles throughout the day that more than 20% of your interactions with your child are negative and you're butting heads and running into trouble and parent-child standoffs, then you're picking too many battles. So that's a good rough guide, 80-20 rule. Okay, number 8, do not overschedule your child. There needs to be a rhythm throughout the day where there's some ups and downs, highs and lows, energy exertion, and then some calm time. Now, this is especially true for more introverted children who tend to spend a little more time alone, and they tend to feel a little less charged from social interactions as opposed to an extrovert who needs those social interactions to really charge their battery. This also tends to be true more for anxious kids. So pay attention to your kid, think about their personality, and try to create that helpful rhythm throughout the day. Number 9, use if-then consequences. So this would be saying to your child, You can give the toy back to your sister, or I will help you to do that. You give them a very clear choice between two options, and one of them involves you intervening. So you can turn off the TV now, like I asked, or I can help you to do that. And so you provide these very clear instructions, and you give your child the opportunity to make the right choice. And if they don't, you must follow through with the consequence. So you help give the toy back to the sister, or you help turn off the TV. If then, consequences are very powerful in your parenting. Number 10, think about the timing of sensitive discussions. So would you want to say to your child, by the way, your room's a mess and you need to clean that up before dinner, right after they return from an exhausting morning outing, or they're coming back from preschool just completely drained? No, it's much better to wait a little bit and talk to them later about that, after they've had time to relax and revive from the morning outing, which is bonus tip 10. So in addition to waiting later in the day after they've had that relax and revive time, think about the wording of your statements. So I might say something like, let's get your room tidied up before dinner. Would you like me to help with the clothes while you get started on the blocks? That's going to be a much more effective way to communicate that desire to your child. Now that you know my top 10 ways to prevent tantrums, you'll need to watch my next video, which is all about how to conquer them quickly when they do arise. Keep up the good work on your amazing parenting journey.